In this video, let's look at the business analytics methods. A very simple introduction. We are collecting massive amounts of data. Your surfing data, social interactions, you have transaction level data, healthcare data, enormous amount of sensor data from the Internet of Things. We have data that we are accumulating from business applications, data about what we listen to, what we watch, and so on. Then we have very unstructured data where we comment a lot on message boards or on social networks. We make our recommendations on various sites. All of these are part of what we call the big data. Now, we are accumulating that amount of data, but we don't know how to extract useful information from the data that we have. We want insights, and that's where the data mining is gaining a lot of attention. This includes data about the financial markets and other things that people have been trying to extract insights for decades. So there is big motivation to study data mining. It's a process of how do you analyze, predict, and discover insights from data. So it's being applied to many business, social, and economic problems. And there's another whole area of this study in scientific computing, scientific data. It could be in healthcare, genomics, for example, or it could be in weather patterns. So there are lots of things going on the scientific side, and we won't look at that because you need to be a little bit more knowledgeable in computer science methods. Now, everything is coming together. We have cheap computing power. If you want to even rent it from Amazon Web Services, we could get the statistical methods to navigate massive amounts of data with thousands of variables and often missing data. Then we have machine learning approaches that uses computer science and statistics together. Then we have all this recommendation, visualization, and new forms of data like Twitter, social networks. Everything is coming together today. So we have still scratching the surface on how to extract insights from this data. Now, if you want to be an expert in data mining, obviously you have to have a big foundation in many different areas. So one is, of course, the statistical methods. Then, of course, you need to know databases and the data mining methods, which we'll discuss later. Optimization part, what the typical operations research is also part of this. The topics like decision analysis, by taking the insights from this, you apply decision analysis. Then you strategic business analytics and the behavioral aspects of this. Once you have background in the 6 core areas, then you can apply in many different contexts. Just to give you a sense of how much data we are accumulating, from 2015 to 2020, we are literally increasing the data by 7 folds. So we are going to accumulate something like close to 35 zettabytes of data. Not everything is stored, obviously, but nevertheless, this 35 zettabyte, what do they look like? Just to get you an idea, 1 zettabyte is 1000 exabyte, and 1000 exabyte, the 1 exabyte is 1000 petabytes, and it goes on. This is massive amounts of data. So what is data mining? It's a process of extracting new insights. Now, we could extract insights that we already know about, and we have been doing that for a long time. So that's not really very interesting. We need to be able to extract non-intuitive results. For instance, it's very hard to conceive why people who buy beer also buy diapers. Yeah, it shows up. Of course, when you go back and analyze why it happens, you realize it often happens in UK when you are a new parent. You can't go to pubs because of the pub culture. What they do is, hey, they come home, they need some diapers, they go to a convenience store, they end up buying beer. So that's how you find these relationships. But there is one thing about understanding this relationship, and next thing is, what do I do with that? Of course, you do promotions, product placement, you can do supply chain, how much to inventory decisions you can make. Okay, so you can do many different things from this insight, from these insights. So data mining is a process of identifying and discovering meaningful correlations, patterns, and trends using simple database queries like SQL, structured query language, or statistical or mathematical techniques. So these are some of the examples in which you find being applied data mining. These are what we call market basket analysis. What do people buy typically together? When they buy, how do we promote them? These are what we call the cross selling and upselling opportunities. When to discount, what coupon to give to whom. How do you find fraud patterns in healthcare, particularly in insurance or in credit card business? So there are many different well-known applications, and this is where the demand is today. Trying to have people who can understand how we can extract insights. So there are numerous data mining methods, but they're classified into two major ones. One is the descriptive methods. So you're looking at from the data, are there any interpretable patterns? You're not doing any significant statistical analysis. By using simple method, can you describe the data? Okay. Then you have the predictive methods, where you have lots of variables, you have some data. Can you actually make some prediction about the unknown, about the future? And you already done some predictive tasks like the regression in your statistics class. So let's look at what we are going to do in the next few videos. Basically, we're going to look at the three major data mining tasks that we often use. One is the association rule. These are nothing but the correlation between two or more items. It's also called affinity rules. So if I buy cheese, or if I say if I buy bread, I'm likely to buy cheese. So you can think about this as a conditional probability of uh, C given A. Means if we've already bought A, I'm likely to buy C. Then you have clustering, where you're grouping things of similar characteristic together. They may be customers with similar characteristics. They may be product which are similar in nature. Okay, so you're clustering based on certain characteristics. It could be one characteristic or many different characteristics, but you should be able to cluster them. And that's also descriptive in nature. And the third one we're going to do in this class is a classification method, which is predictive in nature. Let's give a simple example. Hey, I want to give loan to somebody. Will this person return the money we lent? So based on the profile of that particular customer, maybe the income, number of children, the household size, current debt, and so on, I should be able to predict what's the likelihood this person will return the loan with interest. Of course, there are other methods for data mining. One is regression. Within regression, there are numerous types of regression. And I'm assuming you learned that in your statistics class. We'll ignore that. Then coming from the computer science domain, you have neural networks, genetic algorithms. And again, we go into those details. We won't go into the details. So three things we're going to look at in this next set of videos. Association rule, also called affinity rules, clustering, and classification. So often you also use data warehouse, the term data warehouse in data mining. What it means is that how do you bring together different types of data within the organization in a consistent form, aggregated, so that you can extract meaningful insights from that data. All the data is actually stored in a data warehouse. In the past, they used to call it online analytical processing, OLAP data. Okay. These are meant only for decision making. We won't go into the details of those data warehouse, but you need to understand data warehouse includes data, aggregated data to make decisions.